everyone, to another replay cast. Pardon me. If only that cough would have timed itself before stream started. Another season replay cast of season 19 of the Nexus Gaming series, NGS. This series is going to be between CM Daybreak and Protectors of Aiur. CM Daybreak a little higher on the points board. I think they're third. And Protectors of Aiur a little lower down. Or no, sorry, I went the backwards. CM Daybreak a little on the lower side, and Protectors of Aiur near the top of the board in B East. But the reason we play the games is anyone can win on any given night. So we see here that CM Daybreak has banned Infernal Shrines and Volskaya Foundry, and the Protectors of Aiur have banned the Garden of Terror and Battlefield of Eternity. But map number 1 is going to be on the other 2-lane map, Braxis Holdout. So, this is a map where we usually see an offlaner in the top that duel each other for each team, and then the 4-man in the bottom. Each team tries to control the beacons while they're up to gain the Zerg wave. This is one of the only maps where you keep what you get, so if the other team gets 100 but you manage to get 60%, you will still get your 60% of a Zerg wave. And I think, in fact, I've seen like 98 to 100%, so the teams can even get fairly equivalent Zerg waves. And you, I believe, are guaranteed to get a minimum of a 30% Zerg wave. Or is it 18? I don't recall now. But you are guaranteed at least even some Zerg wave, even if you got 0%. So, things that can rotate quickly, like Genji and Muradin, can be popular on this map. Offlaners that can duel, so Artanis, Thrall, Leo, things like that can be pretty popular on this map. And because there is no draft in Replay Cast, we will do a quick draft analysis when we pop into the game, and then we'll see what these teams have to give us. So this will be game number 1 between CM Daybreak and Protectors of Aiur. So, we see here the blue team, who are CM Daybreak, have drafted Vala, Leoric, Anubrak, Orphea, and Anduin. I like this comp. It's really well-rounded. You've got good wave clear. You've got good Zerg clear. You've got an offlaner who can duel decently well. And Anduin's one of the best output healers in the game at the moment. Overall, really nothing to complain about. I don't feel like there's any significant weaknesses in this composition. And in the late game, you've got Dirty Bathtub, so the Leoric Entomb and the Orphea Chaos Feast, I believe it's called. Anubrak provides either peel or control, depending on what you want to do. If he goes too deep, both Orphea and Vala can have trouble following up if he goes super deep, but I suspect that the tank knows what his team needs, and so he'll be using his CC, his crowd control, in a way they can follow up on. And yeah, so overall, a good all-around comp. I like Blue's composition here. Red team is Protectors of Aiur. They've picked Johanna, Gul'dan, Yrel, Rhaegar, and Genji. Also, very solid composition. Yrel is a better duelist than people give her credit for, I think. But it will be difficult to just straight up beat a Leoric. It all comes down to whether he lands Drain Hope. Basically, everybody beats Leoric if he misses the Drain Hope, his W. And if he hits it, unless you're a high damage character, you probably lose that trade and have to jump out and break it with the distance. But yeah, if Yrel can find ways to get out of that Drain Hope, she can easily hold that point against a Leoric. Johanna is a really good point control tank, stronger than Anubrak in that sense. Gul'dan and Genji give you both setup and finish, and Genji can rotate fairly easily to help pressure Leoric off the point. And Rhaegar gives you camp clear, gives you wave clear. So both these really well-rounded compositions. I think it's just going to come down to who plays their composition better. And I would argue both of these are fairly meta compositions, which, you know, it can be nice to see meta compositions played well. I don't really have a leaning on this one. I think both these drafts could function very well. So, let's get started in game number 1 between CM Daybreak and Protectors of Aiur. In the blue, representing CM Daybreak, we have Venus on the Vala, MVP on Leoric, Kian on Anubrak, Aura on Orphea, Orphea. And Anduin is played by Double L Dam. And in the red, representing the Protectors of Aiur. They have no Protoss, they lose by default. We've got Ikpliktek on Johanna, E-Day 15 on Gul'dan, The Sound 51, streamer extraordinaire. On Urel, Sergeant Scoops playing Rhaegar, and Genji playing Pina Colada. Is it just me, or does it feel like most casters play offlane? Peldor plays offlane, I play offlane, Sound plays offlane. Is Blue an offlaner, Eternally Blue? I don't know, guys. Maybe offlanes are just the kind of loners who like to cast. I think Taco's a tank, though, so... Here we go, Vala taking some damage here. Vala has not chosen yet her level 9. She does go Creed of the Hunter, so the Gambit stacks. So be very careful to stay alive. We do the Ossian Renewal for Leoric, which is ordinary. We have the Nerubian Spell Armor for Kian on Anub. We do have Growing Nightmare, so the E-build on Dread by Orphea, and Power Word Shield for Aiur. On the far side, ooh, lots of damage coming out here. Ikpliktek actually getting low on that Joe. We do have the Zealous Glare, the shield build for Johanna, Flashlight. We've got the Fell Flame build, Pursuit of Flame for Gul'dan. Dauntless giving armor to Urel, making her even stronger against the autos of Leoric. Every third auto is very strong. We have the Totem build, Colosso Totem for Rhaegar, and Agile Dismount for Genji, which is really the only level 1 picked in real competitive play anymore. Very few people go the E build where you would take the E at 1 because it's very dependent on landing that E, which you should, but it's dependent, whereas Agile Dismount always works. So, we do see Genji has rotated top, but that has given CM Daybreak the opportunity to take their camp early, putting pressure in this bot lane, but Leoric is forced to back off. So right now, we have a top-bottom split. The top is controlled by Protectors of Aiur, the bottom is controlled by CM Daybreak. The Fireback camp will push into the gate, but will be cleared fairly easily by Rhaegar and Gul'dan. Double Orc forces working on that. And in the top, again, Sound 51 knocks back Leo and is able to step away from that Drain Hope. Pardon me, I just had some lunch, so I got a little bit of frog in my throat. Pardon me. A good burrow charge there. Hits 2. E-Day getting down 50%. The corruption that comes out does so much damage. Out comes the deflect from the Genji. Weenus is down to about half. Kian is down to about a quarter, but they're putting lots of damage on the Genji right now. Weenus vaults out from that Gul'dan Fell Flame damage, but they do finally take the beacon, forcing back CM Daybreak. But in the top, MVP and the Sound are battling over this beacon, but now both are collected by Protectors of Aiur, and they're up to 12%, equal to their opponents. They're still not taking away. Genji, using the deflect, has to get out, uses that E-dash out. I forget what that's called, actually. Swift Strike out. Up Genji looking to rotate top. Both are now collected by CM Daybreak. This has been incredibly even. The Wraith Walk used by Leoric to get away. We're at 24 to 24%. These teams are in a dead heat at the moment. So much damage onto that Vala with the corruption. She will go down if she doesn't get a heal from Anduin. And there comes his W, the Divine Star. So, now a 3v3 on the point. Genji is still top and helping out Urel. He will be rotating down. The Fell Flame build is complete for Gul'dan. Pursuit of Flame. Now they control both beacons, and it is clicking up very quickly. But Weenus will actually rotate top to punish the Sound. Gets hit by the Drain Hope, getting hit by auto attacks from the Vala. Anduin was forced to back, so the pressure on this gate is now fairly big. Kian at half health, and Aura also at half health. The offlaners both go for the glow, but it is picked up by Leoric. Weenus trying to convince Sound that he's gone, but he isn't. He's going to start popping auto attacks into that Urel, but she walks away, down to about half. In the bottom, there's a lot of pressure, and again, Aura and Kian fairly low. They have to play this very safely. That Gul'dan damage can stack up, and then Genji can just finish you off with the Swift Strike. Vala rotating down again. Out comes a Beetle. Ikpliktek controlling the point. The jump is onto Aura immediately by Pina Colada. Ide pouring out the Fell Flame damage. And Venus just weaving in auto attacks with the stutter steps. Kian gets incredibly low. The Swift Strike, but they don't manage to finish off Kian. He tries to burrow charge back in, but Igwixek is incredibly low, and he's killed by his counterpart, Kian, on the Anub. Venus is very, very low. Put some extra damage on Ide. Very brave. And now both of these points are controlled by CM Daybreak. It's 34% to 70 as the Sound and MVP duke it out on the upper point. The Drain Hope will land. Pina Colada comes in. The stun onto MVP. He uses the Wraithwalk to get out, but he has to seed the beacon. And so, once again, it will be one beacon apiece. In the bottom lane, they're using this freedom from Genji and Johanna to put a lot of damage, and they in fact kill an entire tower and about 95% of the gate. Vala went down to take a globe. They don't know where it is, but it's still a 4v3 here for CM Daybreak. Genji is rotating back down as the point is still in the hands of our red team. Genji looking to hop over. He does. Kian having a look at where they might be. There's a blind onto Venus. He's low. Pina Colada coming in from the back. A lot of damage. The corruption stacks onto Aura, so very low. The auto attack does, her trait does let her get some healing back. Venus is getting low. Down to about a quarter of a 170, but a great pull there from Double Dam means he does not yet lose a stack of his Gambit. Both beacons are in the hands of Protectors of Aiur right now. Again, though, can you really win if you call yourself the Protectors of Aiur and you don't have a Protoss on your team? This map is perfect for Artanis, bro. So we have 100% to 51%. The red Zerg will push in the bottom lane, and the blue Zerg will push in the top. Urel, not the greatest at clearing, but also not terrible. I would say she's mid. She is able to kind of safely jump in and hit them. But in the bottom, they're going to have to work hard to clear this. I'm careful of those banelings. Venus is very, very low. He does not want to lose a stack. And down comes the Zerg, down to 239 health, but manages to survive. They are attacking, but again, the Johanna blind does mean that Venus has to be extra careful. The Guardian's just sieging up on this fort as it takes so much damage and it's about to go down. Yeah, Quick Tech does pull the condemn onto Kian, takes so much damage from the Genji and the corruption. This Gul'dan Genji, the double Gs, really are getting some work accomplished. In the top, there's only one Guardian left, and the Sound is working to clear it and MVP right now. Leo has to be careful. He is being rotated upon. Blinded. Has he already used Wraithwalk? Nope, there's the Wraithwalk, and he will get out as it is 5 in the top as the last of the Zerg wave is cleared by Aura on Orphea.
Zerg threat eliminated.
Oh, thank goodness. We live another day.
Oh, Stepman is so happy. Both teams looking to take their camps. It'll be both camps at the same time for Protectors of Aiur, whereas at CM Daybreak, they're going to focus on one camp at a time. Tens have come out for both teams now. We have Blessed Shield for Johanna, Horrify for Gul'dan, Ardent Defender for Urel, Ancestral Healing for Rhaegar, and X-Strike, for the Genji. And for our CM Daybreak blue team, we have Rain of Vengeance for Vala, and Tomb for the Leoric Cocoon, Entomb Cocoon, Cocoon for Anub'arak, Crushing Jaws, so we will not be seeing Dirty Bathtub. It's Crushing Jaws for Orphea, and Holy Word Salvation for our Anduin. So we will not see a Light Bomb in Cage, although not really have a character for the Light Bomb outside of the nuke. Urel is clearing bottom, and there is a siege here from Protectors of Aiur, but it seems like they're actually baiting. There is the Firebat camp here still that'll be pushing the fort while the Cocoon is on Johanna. They're looking to chase the squishier members, but the Horrified does come out fearing too. Venus is one of them, in a very rough position here. Out comes the Holy Word Salvation, and it manages to heal up the members of CM Daybreak. Johanna taking the safe rotate. Out comes the Blessed Shield, and they will focus down the Vala. She dies and loses 5% of her attack speed. They're now jumping onto Kian. The Burrow Charge makes him unstoppable, but the damage throughput is huge. There comes the pull from Double L Dam, and he saves his big beetle. But I'm pretty confident that Protectors of Aiur got what they wanted. take a Gambit snack off the Vala, weaken her in her late game. Percent attack speed is such a strong thing. And even though it doesn't necessarily doesn't get stronger throughout the game, the character does get stronger. So any buffs you get to your auto attacks, while percent attack speed itself, it doesn't really speed you up because you don't gain attack speed. It doesn't scale. Everything that happens with your attack speed is buffed through your talents. So you don't want to lose that because it just gets stronger and stronger with more talents. In the bottom, it is a 1v1 again, while in the top we have the 4v4. They have switched the 4-man and the offlane. MVP is winning this trade at the moment as the Sound is forced to back off and tap. In the top, it looks like at the moment, CM Daybreak controls. They're going to jump on a Sergeant Scoops. The Rigger is all alone. Out comes the Crushing Jaws, and he's dead, but the X-Ray takes Vala as well, meaning that another stack comes off of this Gambit Vala. Double L Dam getting incredibly low on the Anduin here, which means Iqbal can stand once again on the point and is trying to take it back for Protectors of Aiur. Is all alone at the moment. Genji is low, not wanting to join, as E-Day 15 also rotates. And now both beacons are in the hands of CM Daybreak as they're at 30%. Now E-Day is here to help, and Leo has to run away, meaning that this will go over now to Protectors of Aiur, making it a 1-1 split once again at 44 to 34. On the Zerg percentage. Iqbal will jump back onto this point again. Kian will do what he can to stop this with the Anurak. Venus has hit the first 100 of the 300 of Creed of the Hunter, but is down 10% of that Gambit attack speed, so down to 15. It is now a 4v5. Liero is still in the bottom. A big engage onto Venus again, blown away! And the X-Strike comes in, makes Aura low. Out comes the Crushing Jaws, but Genji manages to jump out and is safe. Leo collects the bottom beacon, but it's a 1-for-0 as they're just focusing down this Vala, and there isn't very much that CM Daybreak has been able to do to stop these aggressive jumps onto their main damage dealer. Leo is baiting the enemy team in. Pina Colada and the Sound are still there. Out comes the Entomb, but able to use her trait to instantly leap out. Urel is safe. The Space Goat can hop like you wouldn't believe. Fireback Camp is collected by Protectors of Aiur as they look to put map pressure on while they have control of this top lane as Aura comes to clear off this wave with her Mega Chomp. Kian is on the point fighting Iqbal. In the bottom, it is a 2v1, so that means a 4v3 in the top, and that does mean the members of Protectors of Aiur will back away. Genji coming in, Pina Colada from the bottom. If you like Pina Colada, watching Genji dance, I think that's the song. They jump onto double L damage. Cocoon is out onto Johanna. Genji's taking a lot of damage here, though. Vala is finally in a position where she's not just getting blown up immediately. The Dread is finished for Aura there. Kian is getting slurped by the Gul'dan in the back. Crushing Jaws comes out and once again hits no one. Venus landing the Qs onto E-Day. And while no one died, a fight win for the members of CM Daybreak here, and they will have both beacons for a moment in time. MVP is getting dove on by Pina Colada and E-Day. The Sound looking to chase the Leoric now, no, decides better of it. CM Daybreak decides in the meantime, while there's 3 bottom, attack this top fort. The blinds from Johanna will help slow the Vala at destroying this fort, but it is down to a 25% health. It is a 4v4 in the top again, as the top will be collected. The Sound looking to provide insurance, but there is no team fight at this moment. MVP will come in to collect the beacon on the bottom. It is 74 to 50%, and Urel is here to duel Leoric, the Skeleton King. But he pushes away the Space Goat. Real barn burner of often. Now he does have the healing autos, which means he should win this. But here comes Genji to make the 1v1. He can't respect the honor battle. Darn it, Genji. Disrespect. But now we're 74% to 64%. Very, very close. And Gul'dan looking to siege this top fort. We do see the rotate back up from CM Daybreak, while the bottom beacon is recaptured by Urel as Genji continues to pressure on Gul'dan. It is a 4v3 in the top, but they stop to clear the wave first, meaning that quite a bit of beacon percentage from 64 to 86 goes over to Protectors of Aiur. Once again, one beacon per. Both teams have hit 16 here. The Manticore is up for Venus, meaning his damage is going to be ridiculous. Leoric is attacked again by Pina Colada in the Sound, meaning Leoric has to back away, and it's a 1v1 again. They're looking to dive this tower. They try to hit E-Day, but they miss. They're backing away now. The Blessed Shield goes on to Venus. They're going to look to take her down. A great pull there, though, from Double Eldam. Venus gets blown up by the Swift Strike and the Flashlight. Kian is incredibly low. Is healed by Double Eldam, but Double Eldam has put himself in a terrible position being chased by the Genji. Now, they captured both points. They're at 98% currently. But that is now 3 deaths onto Venus's Vala, 4 deaths onto Venus's Vala now. It's only 5% of that Gambit attack speed remaining on the Demon Hunter from Diablo. And they've now lost their top fort as well, meaning they have a lot less security in falling back now. The Sound pushed off the point again by Leoric. The top beacon does belong to Protectors of Aiur, while the bottom is still in the hands of CM Daybreak. Urel will capture this. Kian looking towards the top, but no, the 4-man will stick together as Vala is just now coming back onto the map. So that will be 100% to 98%. Quite literally the closest it can be, as both teams will essentially experience a full-size Zerg wave. And that likely means bottom fort will go down. In the top 3 members of Protectors of Aiur are going to push with this wave, although the Bruiser camp was taken to soften the blow, to brunt it a little bit. But there is a fireback camp here as well that's being quickly cleared by the entire 5-man of CM Daybreak. In the bottom, Gul'dan and Urel working together, and they're doing quite a good job. They'll probably actually protect this fort. I'm wrong. They're here to push this back, even with the camp here. They should be able to clear this fairly quickly with the huge AoE damage that Gul'dan can do. The top, we are seeing this gate take a lot of damage. Because there's 5 here, they managed to clear this without even losing their fort gate. In the bottom, the fort does finally go down to this huge wave. They weren't able to brunt it as long as maybe I thought they could. And blue team, knowing that there's still some bottom, are rotating fast. They want to even up the buildings here, so they're going to go. Kian is... The Cocoon comes out onto Johanna. They're going to just attack the building. They take it out. The Entomb comes out, but it misses Johanna barely. The last of the Zerg are cleared out, and we are once again at essentially a neutral map state. But there is an experience lead for Protectors of Aiur, but it's a 5v3. Venus gets jumped on attacking the thing. The Holy Word Salvation comes out. The totem, not the thing. Out comes the Crushing Jaws. It misses, but it does split the team fight up. The Sound popping the Ardent Defender. Out comes... Oh, Double Eldam gets feared. He's blown away. So is Venus's Vala. That's 5 deaths. The Gambit is gone. Kian is getting destroyed by this Gul'dan damage. Finally finished off by the Genji. And it is a 3-0 as that fight went highly in the favor of Protectors of Aiur. And they will rotate to taking the infested Viking that is on this map. And Disaster Strikes. They were only a level behind for a CM Daybreak, and they lost that fight hard. And they are now almost 2 full levels behind, and 20s will be coming online for Protectors of Aiur. And just a rough turn. They had a 5v3, but this map is small enough that the rotate was very quick up from this bottom area, and it just blew them away. This team is so good. Sorry, Protectors of Aiur specifically are so good at targeting the Vala and just removing her from the fight, just blowing her up. And Venus does play this Vala very aggressively, and he's been forced to pay for that this entire game. 5 deaths on Vala. No one else more than 1 in the entire game. 20s have come in for Protectors of Aiur as the Sound jumps in. They have Blinded by the Light, the Team Shield, Haunt, the Horrify upgrade, Seraphim, the Unstoppable for Urel, Farseer's Blessing, AoE. There comes the Cocoon on Genji and the Holy Word Salvation, living weapon for the Genji. Oh, but it's a 5-man fear from the Gul'dan that hits everybody. Kian is solo killed by the boss. It blows him away. They're jumping onto MVP. But the 5-man fear, EJ, he's a scary orc. Double damn, taking a lot of damage there. Aura jumped on by the Genji. 500 health, 125 health, and killed by the younger Shimada brother. MVP takes tons of damage. Venus knocked into the opposing team. The boss is clearing away the core, and there is nothing that CM Daybreak can do about it. 20%, 10%, 5%, and done. Game number 1 will go to the Protectors of Aiur. GG! The kills in this game were 10-2, and until the final kill on Nubrak, they were all focused on Venus. Now, Orphea is a fantastic character as well. With certain builds, she can even be a hyper carry. But because she's a mage, her damage is very stop and start, unlike the auto attackers. And because of the kind of mix of damage that Gul'dan provides, he is a mage, but the spells come up so rapidly that he almost has the cadence, like the damage cadence of an auto attacker. He was able to output far more consistently than Orphea was because Vala was always dead. Vala was always dead. It was almost always stunning shield, blessed shield from Johanna into the Genji X strike, and then whatever they needed to finish her off on top of that, the Gul'dan Fell Flame, the Rhaegar butt bite, whatever they needed, it was on Vala. She was gone, and then Kian is desperately forced to try and peel while Anduin's trying to pull someone away, but a beautifully executed team comp. And they didn't worry a lot about the beacons because their team wasn't predicated on beacons. It was predicated on fights where Vala became a ghost. And they played that to perfection. They used it in the late game to bait some fights that looked like they might be advantageous for CM Daybreak, but that was just an illusion. They were waiting for Vala to be in the position for them to press Alt F4 on her program called Alive.exe. So, fantastic game 1. Some beautiful play. I love this overall team. I think this was an incredible draft. This wasn't a bad draft at all, but watching this one in action, I have an all-new appreciation for the function. Now, it requires a lot of coordination. This isn't lock these heroes and win, but the coordination they used on this team for the Johanna, Genji, Gul'dan was beautiful. Well played by the members of Protectors of Aiur, and they will win game number 1. Let's see where they'll take us for game number 2. Game number 2 will be on Dragonshire. So, Dragonshire, a game that is all about using your resources as efficiently as possible. Don't send 3 heroes where 2 will do. Lots of 2v2s, lots of 3v3s, lots of rotating, but control both shrines and get that Dragon Knight. That is the name of the game. So, we'll see. Last game, we saw some very, very good play in terms of their resources from Protectors of Aiur. We'll see if CM Daybreak is able to respond in this game and able to bring it back, taking us to a game number 3. But let's pop into this Dragonshire game in game number 2 between CM Daybreak and Protectors of Aiur. Again, I hope the in-game sound is balanced with my voice. If it's off, please let me know. Anyone watching, or I know Variel is always out there. If it's unbalanced, let me know, but hopefully I've got them well balanced. So, we once again see Vala played by Venus again. So we got Vala, Deckard, Leoric, Varian, Tassadar. I don't think there's any complaints about MVP's Leoric. Played it safe, played it smart, played it well. And again, it can win almost any duel against an offlaner. Although Hogger Falstad will be extremely annoying. Speaking as an offlaner who plays a lot of Leo, Falstad Hogger sounds like a pain to deal with on the Shrine. Volatacitor gives you lots of clear, should help you have strong wave priority, and Deckard, good sustain heals, lots of crowd control with both of his ultimates, and with the large scroll of Sealing, or Scroll of Identify. And the Varian Lockdown can help you get the insta-kill, follow up with the Deckard route, follow up with the Vala stun at 10. Overall, again, I like the draft from CM Daybreak. They draft very solid all-around compositions. My only fear for this one is none of this team screams we can send someone to go help Leo. This 4-man functions best as a 4-man, and Leoric is likely to be an island on this map. And on a map where being able to detach a part of your 4-man to help your offlaner can be a key to success, I don't see that kind of freedom from CM Daybreak in this draft, although I could be wrong. On the red side, we do have Muradin, Falstad, Hogger, Anduin, and Sylvanas. Anduin, of course, again, one of the strongest throughput healers in the game. Sylvanas gives excellent push and wave clear. Falstad does, I would say, medium-high damage. He's a lot of utility damage, and Gust is fantastic. But the freedom he gives you on the map, he is the character that can rotate top and push off the offlaner, and then just immediately fly bottom and still let you have a 4v4 in the bot lane. Globals on this map are at a premium. Dahaka, I'm almost guaranteeing you, is banned on this map. Possibly Brightwing as well. She's a terror on this map, especially for the offlaner. So the Falstad is a great pickup. Muradin can rotate quickly with the jumps. I do like Protector of Aiur's draft better. I do think this gives you more success specifically on Dragonshire. And again, I could be wrong. If this 4-man gets really dominant and just keeps killing, Sylvanas Anduin, or keeps getting a Muradin pick, and then Falstad comes late and is killed, I think this team could win. But the coordination we saw from Protectors of Aiur in Game 1 doesn't lead me to believe they're suddenly going to be wandering around as individuals getting murdered left and right. So I would pick Protectors of Aiur to win this game, but let's see if I'm wrong. And let's see if CM Daybreak can get game number 2 and take us to a game number 3. This is game 2 between CM Daybreak and Protectors of Aiur and Taro Adun. In the blue, we have CM Daybreak. We've got Weenus playing Vala, Double L Dam on Deckard, MVP playing Leoric, Kian on Varian, and Aura on Tassadar. In the red, we've got Protectors of Aiur. Ikplaktek is on Muradin, E-Day 15 on Falstad, The Sound 51 playing Hogger, Sergeant Scoops is on Anduin, and Pina Colada is on Sylvanas.
4, 3,
If you like Pina Colada, being an undead elf, if you like shooting black arrows, I don't have a rhyme. Alright, moving on. Game 1. We've got the Puncturing Arrow, Hungering Arrow quest from Weenus this game. And no Gambit this time, and hopefully that'll mean he gets less focused. Good wall here, puts the Sound in a tough position. They're looking to put pressure on MVP. So far, it's just some early stacks, and early stacking does, in fact, benefit CM Daybreak more. Weenus looking for the stacks, Deckard looking for the stacks, so that Scroll of Identify at 1. We do see Ossian Renewal for the Leoric. We see Lion's Moss and Lion Fang stacks for Varian, and Psy Infusion, a W build for Tassadar, giving him pretty free clears with his W. And again, we're already seeing the 2 top of the Falstad making MVP's life difficult. On the right, we do have the Dwarf block for Muradin, the Frequent Flyer, auto attack build for the Falstad on the Prowl, so great sustain and healing for Hogger, Power Word Shield for Anduin, and Might of the Banshee Queen for Sylvanas. So we see a 1-1-3 setup here, not entirely unusual. Falstad will be keeping Hogger, I wouldn't say safe, Hogger can keep himself safe, but keeping Hogger pressure. Sparrow Narrow. Oh no, rhymes with Elf and Shelf. That's an ABCD, not an ABCC
Capture
rhyme
the
scheme.
shrines. Inherit the Dragon Knight's power.
All right,
and
so
lay waste to this
already a
forsaken
minute
kingdom.
30, we do see the shrines come up. The bottom will be collected by Ikpatek on Murden. The top will be collected by MVP. So it is once again a 1-for-1 as both teams have members collecting their bruiser camp. Falstad annoying Leoric here. And again, Leoric doesn't love dealing with ranged auto attackers. He doesn't have the greatest tools in the world for dealing with them. Yes, you can Wraith Walk in and try to be annoying, but their ability to just walk outside of your main damage, which are your auto attacks, can be frustrating. Now, we do hit 4. Taunt variant is up. The sound is here with Pina Colada to push with the camp, but with the black arrows, they are doing a lot of damage to this mid one. The tower is gone. Venus trying to get W stacks, a great sidestep there from the sound. Murden will infiltrate like a quiet, sneaky king of the dwarves to collect that, and they did not manage to capture that Dragonite while they had control. So it will be, once again, 1 apiece. Hogger coming up. MVP is low. Is he going to get out? The Wraithwalk comes out immediately. A good play there by MVP, keeping himself out of danger and harm's way. That means it is a 3v4 in the bottom. Aura gets incredibly low, is saved by Double L Dam's Deckard Pots, and they will walk onto the point as Hogger collects the 1 in the top lane. So momentarily, this is the property of the red team, but it is now done. QuickTech will capture the bottom game. Double L Dam and Aura will attempt to make life difficult. Out comes, oh, a good Dwarf toss there, getting out. Sound, making sure to hold on to this top camp. Falstad is bottom. QuickTech is here. Varian went mid to clear, and that is not super helpful for his team, but he's able to rotate that now. Venus has captured the giant camp. Both beacons are in the hands of Protectors of Aiur now, but there's no one to go mid and take the Dragonite, although Falstad was working towards it. The bottom will go back over to CM Daybreak. And Falstad continues to clear out mid, and again, in the middle, he has the easiest time flying either top or bottom. There is the taunt onto Murden. He's going to take a lot of damage early. A slow root comes out, though. Double L Dam not getting that down as soon as the taunt went out, meaning that Murden's Dwarf Toss did get him out in time. Leoric versus the Sound in the top. The Drain Hope lands, and the knockback not enough to save the Sound from it. But he does have full rage, which means his healing is going to be incredible. MVP has to be super careful. A full rage Hogger is an incredibly dangerous beast. Now, they do have both, but Falstad manages to kill Deckard Cain, but is killed in return. Ikpatek is incredibly low. Kian using the blocks, but he's getting low as well. Venus also very, very low. Hogger collects the top beacon once again. A 1-for-1 here early on. The only kills we've seen so far this game. Deckard goes down first, Falstad in return, but Falstad can fly back and be part of the solution immediately, whereas Deckard has to walk those rickety old bones down, and that will not be quick. Somebody get this man a walker. So, these both beacons will be collected by Protectors of Aiur, and in fact, MVP has gone mid. He's not going to prevent this Dragon Knight, though. E-Day is collecting it right now, and he gets it before blue team can recollect this shrine. The Dragon Knight is here, and with most of this gate already gone from the Sylvanas Black Arrows, Falstad finishes it off. Now, there are 4 here to do damage to this Dragon Knight. Who will he choose to boot? Nobody. Oh, here it is, and Kian gets kicked. That really hurts his pride. Ow, my pride. The Sound putting the pressure on the top lane. This fort down about a third of itself. MVP misses the Drain Hope and has to fully back out as Pina Colada drops the Haunting Wave, and the Black Arrows come out here as well. Dragonite, more of a distraction at the moment, honestly. As in the top, MVP takes a lot of damage, has to be careful. This Sylvanas puts a ton of pressure on the Skeleton King. Falstad pushing the mid. 10s are out for Protectors of Aiur. They have Avatar on Murden, Gust, the mighty Gust on Falstad. They've got Hortapult for the Hogger, Light Bomb for Anduin, and Mind Control for Sylvanas. Some really strong crowd control ults as Venus gets booted to Brazil. And this top port taking a ton of damage, and they don't have anyone to respond to it right away. Now there is looking to be rotation, so the Sound and Pina Colada back away to make sure they live, but this fort has taken about 3/4 of its health. 10s will come out now, also for the members of CM Daybreak. We see Rain of Vengeance for the Vala, the stuns. Only 15 stacks so far, having a hard time stacking that up. We've got Stay a While Listener looking to invade on the camp. The Entomb comes out, which is the next one we were going to mention. We do see more Bringer. Now, the mind control is on the Vala, and Venus is blown to bits. Double L damage, taking so much damage on that Deckard Cain. The taunt onto the Hogger, saving Deckard's life. He had 26 health, but the Stormbolt comes out, and it does connect. He only has 350 health. Oh, so much damage. The slow onto Eclectech from Kian. He's saving his Deckard Cain, but will he pay for the sins of the old man? He does. It's a 2-for-0. Now, they did prevent this camp from taking him, but they will get invaded and lose their camp here. Double L Dam sees that they're there, but knows he cannot afford to get involved. Or that will be one dead old man who drops the Scroll of Sealing, but it does not get him any more stacks. And the Black Hole we've already seen from Tassadar. So Venus will come in. They will kill this camp, but they will lose the top fort after some really strong plays from Protectors of Iron. Who, once again, no Protoss. What do these guys have against Protoss? Can't be, you know.
The shrines awaken.
Can't say my life for Aiur without that weird, non-verbal warble. They're looking to gank MVP. He uses the Wraithwalk, trying to sidestep the incoming Stormbolt, but Eclectech does not even try. Vinx, how's it going, buddy? We do see camp taken by the Sound. Hogger very powerful at taking camps, especially ones with facing walls. Excuse me. MVP looking to clear this out. It's a full level lead currently for Protectors of Aiur, and the shrines are activating right now.
The Dragon Knight's power is yours.
The Dragon Knight's power is yours. Again, if game sound is way off or way louder than my voice, please let me know. Maybe I can finally hear it. So, in the bottom, we're seeing a big fight. In comes the flight. The Stay Alive Listen comes out, but Venus is blown up on Vala again. Kian is all alone as the fly came in, and the team was separated by that mighty gust. Falstad is knocked back, but Aura's all the way back here, and Vala's already dead, so they have no way of cleaning up that low health Falstad. He's already back to full because Anduin is a healing monster. A big push is coming out here, and Vala actually not yet using the black arrows. They're just sieging up. Leo playing it safe, even though all 5 are bot lane. The black arrows will come out now. They're on the 4. The tower's still here. Double L damage being chased down by Ide's Falstad. That dwarf on a duck is dangerous. We'll take the tower. They're now pushing on the keep. A black arrow's duration does seem to have been used up. That's about 1/3 of the health coming off this fort. Leo has captured the top, but they need to hit 13 here if they want to be on even talent tier, and here it is. Playing it very safe. Kian standing on the point. Eclectech backs away. Doesn't know what the numbers situation looks like. Hogger is in the top, recapturing the top shrine. Venus looking to take this bottom camp. Maybe provide some other pressure. They need to be careful. If this is sniffed out, they're going to be in big trouble. Kian anchoring in the far bush. It doesn't seem, as of yet, like they sniffed this out, and they may be able to capture it. Here comes the Stormbolt. They do find Kian. They're not able to contest this camp. And in fact, the taunt comes out. The Rain of Vengeance comes out. And Eclectech has to dwarf toss away because they are outnumbered. In the top, MVP is going to step on this point, but the Sound looking to battle. The Drain Hope misses, meaning Leoric has to leave. Oh, but a great Horde is thrown out here. The Junk stopping Leoric from walking away. Now, again, he does have Spectral Leech, so his auto attacks do heal, but the full rage for this Hogger means he's a very dangerous beast, both in healing and in damage. Now, both shrines have been collected and are in the hands of CM Daybreak. Hogger looking to recollect this, and there's not really anyone who can afford to back up and take this Dragon Shrine, as they're just looking to siege up on this bottom here. Still only 18 stacks of the Puncturing Arrow for Venus. He's played Vala both games, but hasn't been able to show off his crazy Vala skills yet, as the opposing team has had a hard focus on the Demon Hunter. Falstad is mid. They're looking to see if they can bait someone in. Venus so far up, vaults away just in case the Stormbolt was coming. Knowing it's down, Eclectech throws it, but Venus does manage to sidestep it. The top is collected by the Sound as Leo is forced to respond to Falstad's pushing in the mid. Lots of potions sitting around. They're big fat potions too. We're not body shaming the potions, guys. They're actually fat little potions. They're happy with their weight. You know? They feel comfortable. Now, Protector's Fire will have both shrines now. Kian is going to defend here at the middle, as the giant camp is taken by 3 members of CM Daybreak. Hogger looking to take it. Kian does step up. He's forced to use the parry. Good dodge. Sidestep. Oh, but now all the ults are coming out. He's taking so much damage, and Kian will die as the members of CM Daybreak took that opportunity to grab the shrines, but they left their poor tank to get murderized. Pina Colada using the black arrows in the mid to put a bunch of damage onto the mid fort. They're trying to do a big push on this bottom fort, but the gust pushes them in deep, and now they're trying to attack back, but Venus is taking tower shots, and she's super low. Stormbolt hits too! Aura and Venus are so low. Double Dan uses the stay a while and listen, but it's not far enough out. He's going to die. 2 Pina Colada Sylvanas is taking so much damage. Aura being chased. The Stormbolt just misses, but the root doesn't. Aura is dead. And Double L Dam is standing here, and Deckard Cain is deceased. It is a 4 for nothing. Well, 3 for nothing because Varian was already dead. And that push, they did get the fort, but at what cost? They will give over the Dragon Knight. Bottom will go down to the black arrows from Pina Colada and Ikplek. Mid will go down to this Dragon Knight. Kian can defend, but there's only so much you can do when both of your damage dealers are dead.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
And again, the ability of this Falstad to be wherever he needs to be, and the utility playmaking of this Gust, and it just made this draft a great mind control. It lands onto the Varian, but it can't pull him out far enough. So much damage onto MVP. He's so low, he managed to get out with about 400 health. And Anduin is telling his dad, hey dad, I'm really sorry, but you know, I gotta help Hogger. He may be an evil Knoll chieftain, but you know, at least he didn't abandon me. I think Anduin has some damage. Some good hits there from Aura's Shock Ray, putting Ide and Pina Colada low. Bottom gate is gone. Mid gate is missing a tower. Top gate, pretty good, okay. Percent damage from Leo. He gets booted into the bot lane, and Venus will just auto and get some more stacks there.
For now.
You know it's not going your Vala's way in the game when she's 29 stacks compared to the 36 for the Falstad, but to be fair to Venus, this has been a tricky game to play Vala into. The other team has the Anduin, meaning you're not going to get the pulls, so he has to rely entirely on his own vault. So, it is a overall building and kill lead and experience lead for Protectors of Aiur. But CM Daybreak are not willing to walk away yet. They're going for this bottom cruiser camp as the top one is collected by Protectors of Aiur. And the only thing they want to do now is not have a fight before 20. You just don't want to give that opposing team any opportunities to get a lucky fight or a lucky pick. So they're moving as 5. Hogger is alone, but he can be rotated too quickly. Falstad finishes off at the camp in the top. Now that they're 20, they're going to look to fight. We see Rewind from Muradin, the wind tunnel, and here it comes. They're trying to collapse a good black hole. It peels away the Muradin. Kian trying to get on the point, but they can't get it. The mind control is on the Vala. Out comes, the wind tunnel plus the light bomb, and that is huge. They can't move. They can't move. Deckard Cain is dead. Varian is dead. The Wraithwalk lets MVP get away, but Aura is chased down by Hogger. What an amazing collection of their ultimate abilities, and they blow away 3 members of CM Daybreak. The Dark Arrows come out, and they're pounding the bottom team. The Censure and the Dark Knight is called. This is now in like a 12-second cooldown. They're looking to end the game, and with 18 to 20s, it's going to be very difficult, but they're going to do their best. Here comes CM Daybreak. They're trying to defend this core. They need the miracle defense, but Ide's auto attacks and these giants are taking it down so fast. It's at 40%, it's at 30%, it's at 20%, it's at 10%, and this game is over. Game number 2, and this series will go to the members of Protectors of Aiur. GG. The kills were 12 to 1, and that almost feels like it's what's the word I'm looking for? Anduin didn't even go double pull. Man, that's a choice. this feels like it kind of it makes blue look better than the game went for them. This was a really, really a good draft, but again, because it forced the 4-man to be a 4-man, whenever somebody moved away or whenever they found themselves in even a slightly unfavorable spot, the mobility of Protectors of Aiur meant they were constantly ready to come in and blow up. And that last team fight with the coordination of the ultimates, the wind tunnel into the wall, followed by the light bomb, followed by the Dark Lady's Call, pulling Vala into that combination, meant that there were 3 deaths so quickly with almost no opportunity for counterplay. Beautifully executed, beautifully played by Protectors of Aiur. If you're playing them in B East, be scared. These guys know how to put their ults together, and boy, howdy did they do a good job in this game. That is our second series of the day. We're going to have 2 more series tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been Omster, and I hope you can go enjoy yourself some Heroes of the Storm.